welcome to an Azure Everyday video. My name is Daniel Taylor, Principal Consultant here at PragmaticWorks. PragmaticWorks has been engaged by customers recently to migrate their databases from on-premises to the Azure cloud environment. We've been asked to migrate things such as SQL databases, where we can migrate to a SQL database in the cloud. We've been asked to migrate off of their APS or PDWs, which we could utilize Azure SQL Data Warehouse. We've also been asked to migrate MySQL and PostgreSQL databases from their on-premises environment into the Azure cloud environment. On-premises, we're used to having the ability to back up our databases to local storage, some sort of NAS device or some sort of backup device, as long as we have storage to be able to do that. In the cloud, it's a little bit different. We have a limited number of backups that were provided from a retention period perspective. For example, a SQL database, we have point-in-time recoveries, but our retention period for our backups is defined based off of the service tiers we decide. A basic service tier provides us 7 days worth of retention for our backups, 1 week worth of retention. Our standard and premium tiers will allow us to have up to 5 weeks of retention of those database backups to do our point-in-time recoveries from. Now, we can enable a long-term backup solution, LTR solution, and what this LTR solution does is it allows us to take our weekly full backups and save them for up to 10 years. There is a cost for that, but we can take those weekly backups and maintain them for up to 10 years. Azure SQL Data Warehouse is a little different. We have 7 days worth of retention there, so we can have up to 7 days worth of backups. Our local snapshots that are done automatically for us take place every 4 to 8 hours according to the documentation. We also get a full backup, a snapshot done daily every 24 hours. We have our geo backups that take place. Our RPO around our geo backups is 24 hours. And now, new within the SQL Data Warehouse, announced last month, I believe it was, is we can take user-defined snapshots. We can take up to 42 user-defined snapshots. Now, the benefit of these user-defined snapshots is we no longer need to wait for the local snapshots to take place through the Microsoft schedule mechanism behind the scenes. We can actually kick that process off. So if we've completed a substantial load process, we can take this user-defined snapshot and start one and make sure that our data is covered. So if we do have to do a recovery, we know that it's going to cover that load process that we just did. Now, for Azure Database for MySQL and Azure Database for PostgreSQL, by default, both of these have 7 days worth of retention. However, these are configurable, and they are configurable up to 35 days worth of retention. Both of these have point-in-time recoveries and geo restores from these backups being retained for us. One thing to note is once you get over 250 gigs worth of data, you start incurring data charge for storing within these 7 days or 35 days worth of retention. So it's just a little bit of a different thought process, and I think we're all becoming familiar with that. When we migrate to Azure, we need to think a little bit differently and keep in mind that the processes are going to change a little bit for us as we move there. However, the benefits, I think, well outweigh the risk. But having this knowledge and being able to share this knowledge with your management and end users is beneficial. This is Daniel Taylor, PragmaticWorks, signing off.